Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our cocktails and Cookidoo cooking class. It is so nice to have you here this evening. We realize as it's summer and the evenings are getting lighter, it's less tempting to be here watching us. So we want to say thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that if you are mixing along with us, if you're making a cocktail this evening, do give us a little wave. Or let us know in the chat what you're making, because yeah, let's all have a drink together this evening. If it's a mocktail, also totally fine. Even if it's a cup of tea, absolutely fine. So yeah, very warm welcome. My name is Bea. I am joining you this evening from Devon. I'm a team leader. I cover the Southwest, so Devon and Cornwall. And I have had a Thermomix for over 7 years now. I've been an advisor. And I just absolutely love it. Seriously, I joined for 3 months to earn my Thermomix for free. And I have stayed because of the community and the wonderful people like these ladies on this call this evening, and the friends who I've made, and the people watching this evening. Some of my customers have become really good friends as well. And yeah, I love the community. I love what we have here. And so I hope this evening that what you get is the passion from what we're doing, the fact that we love the product and we love sharing it with you. This is a safe space, so if you have any questions, please do use the chat box. Ask away. And we are recording this evening just so you can refer back. And yeah, we will share the links for our cocktails as well with you. The main emphasis this evening, though, is on Cookidoo, and so we'll be showing things as we go. What else to say? Oh yeah, so if you've never seen a Thermomix before, this might be a slightly advanced class for you, but welcome. We're so glad you're here. This is the Thermomix TM6. So this is the black one. This is the normal standard white one. Same machine, just different casing. So the Thermomix is essentially a bowl with some accessories that all come with it, with a blade. The blade goes one direction to cut and the other direction to stir. And this one bowl and blade are able to do everything from crushing your ice in your cocktails to making the smoothest, most beautiful custards, creme patissiere, sauces, white sauce, to cooking your bolognese, to making your chilies, to even slow cooking, your spare ribs and things like that. It also has a steaming attachment, and it has internet Wi-Fi connection, which is how we know what to do when we do it. So the Thermomix is all in one, cooks, times everything and stirs it for you. And I like to say it's like your second pair of hands in the kitchen. It's like your new best friend. It gives you headspace to do other things. So if you are an owner on the call, maybe you concur, maybe you agree with us. I'd love to know in the chat what's the thing that you love the most about your Thermomix. It's always nice to hear feedback. What is it that you really love the most about your Thermomix? What does it enable you to do that maybe you weren't doing before, or what joy has it brought back to your cooking and things like that? So that's it from me. I'm going to hand over to Mez, and she can introduce herself.
Thank you, Bea. As you said, I'm Mez. I am a team leader based in West Sussex. I've been a Thermomix advisor and team leader for 4.5 years, and a bit like Bea, I joined to earn a free machine and leave, and I never did. I became a massive fan, so much so that it's a full-time job for me, which I really, really love. And I love the Thermomix cocktails. So I'm going to be making a cucumber margarita for you this evening. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about kind of the introduction basis of Cookidoo. So those of you that have a TM6 will know all about Cookidoo, and I hope that you will use it. And what we want to achieve this evening is just to make sure that you're getting the most out of this brilliant platform. So I'm going to share my screen with you this evening, so just bear with me. I'm going to get my Cookidoo up on here and find it for you to have a look at as I talk through it. So those of you that have the TM6, you know what Cookidoo looks like. It's very friendly. It can be personalised. I put my name in there, so it feels very welcoming when I open it up. One of the first things that we recommend you doing when you get your Thermomix and set up your Cookidoo account is to personalise your account. In the top right-hand corner, we've got a little circle here. I've got my own picture, and then on yours it might look like a chef's hat. But what you can do is go into here and go into your preferences. This will open up another menu, and at the top here you can choose what type of cook you are, or what type of cooking style that you have. So you might be a veggie lover, you just want quick and easy meals. Personally, I like something creative and adventurous. I like to push myself out of my cooking comfort zone. Or you might be a traditional cook and just really enjoy those more traditional meals and go through them. And in this menu, you can also then choose any accessories that you have. So I'm very lucky as an advisor. I've got all of the accessories that you can have with the Thermomix. I've ticked all of them. And what this will do is it will tailor your search results. So it will make sure that recipes that have these accessories included with them will be shown to you. And then if you don't have them, they won't be if you haven't ticked them. And then further down here, you've got some other filter search preferences. And you can update the filter. So this is something that I do and I recommend to my customers. You've got the choice here of country or region, and you'll find with your Cookidoo, it will have automatically ticked the United Kingdom. I'm going to suggest you untick United Kingdom and just tick English, because what that will do is as you search for recipes, it's going to come from not just the UK Cookidoo, but also Australia, the USA, Canada, any English written language recipes will come up on your search. You're going to really expand what your results are there as well. You can choose which version of the machine you have at the top there as well. So that's a really good one just to go into. You could even do it now while you're watching and change those preferences. The other ladies are going to go through some of the other features, such as a shopping list function and that sort of thing. But something I wanted to talk to you about that not many people realise that we have on Cookidoo, it's not just a recipe search engine. It's a brilliant one, but what it also has is lots of inspiration for you. So at the top, underneath the search bar, we've got featured, for you, and themes. If you click onto themes, you'll find there is a whole wealth of information here for you. Learning all about Cookidoo. This is a brilliant tutorial. So if you open up your Cookidoo and think, oh, I can't remember what they told me in the demo, I'm going to have a look. Click on to learn more. And you've got these wonderful tutorials just from the very basics of getting started on Cookidoo, how to navigate it, using the planner, how to organise your week and your shopping, personalising it, improve your cooking skills, and learning about other products as well. And then further down in here, we've got articles, we've got tips and tricks. So something that people don't use as much is the Varoma. And there's a whole article on here. You can click into it and there's lots and lots of tips about using the Varoma. And then further down, you can click Start Steaming and it will come up with Varoma specific recipe collections as well. And we can go back, and then through here we've got all about your modes. So Cookidoo is brilliant and the recipes are amazing, and we all know how wonderful the results are, and the consistent results are what we love. We know that we're going to cook a recipe, it's going to be the same every time. There's no guesswork there. What you can do with the modes is the freestyle cooking, is making your own recipes or using your Thermomix as a tool to aid you in the kitchen, not just by cooking a whole recipe, but by preparing parts of a recipe for you. So the modes here, we go into it. There's information on each mode in here as well. So it gives you a good idea. And there are videos, bits about rice cooker mode, and you can go all the way down here and get more information about them there as well. So it's not just this search engine, it's a real kind of almost a manual for Cookidoo as well. Information about slow cooking, sous vide mode. This is one of my favorite modes. We use it regularly for things like steak, vegetables, and if you haven't tried it, it's definitely worth a good look. So there's the information there. And then for you, this is all information gathered from your search history. What Cookidoo is, it takes that information away and it thinks about things it thinks you might like to make based on things you've already made. So lots of information there going down, lots of inspiration as well. So that's a quick overview from me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to make my cocktail, which my husband is waiting for. It's one of our favourites. It's a really lovely summery drink. Just get my screen back up there for you. Cucumber cocktail. Oh, what I was going to show you was how to add your cocktail to your week. Sorry, apologies. I'm going to go back into my Cookidoo and find my recipe. So with my search engine, I'm going to just type cucumber margarita. It comes up in one of my recently searched, definitely a favorite. Click onto it, and then all I'm going to do is press cook today. And for those of you that don't know with the Thermomix, when I do that, immediately that's now transferred to my Thermomix because my Thermomix is connected to my Wi-Fi. Both my iPad and my machine are logged into my Cookidoo account, so they talk to each other. So it's very, very straightforward. So there we go. Come back to me now. Back into Zoom. There we go. So I'm going to now see on my screen there's a recipe here, cucumber margarita. I'm going to open it out and it's going to come up and we're going to just press start cooking. I've added a reduced portion recipe because I don't want to make 6 of them. It's Thursday night. I'm going to struggle tomorrow morning to get up with the children for school. So only half portions. And by doing this, it's changed the look of my recipe. And what it's going to do here is come up with the instructions, and I'm going to press to open out the scales. I'm going to pop in 110 grams of pieces of cucumber. I've peeled it and I've de-seeded it. I'm also going to add in 65 grams of tequila. The Thermomix cocktails are very generous with their alcohol measurements. Just be careful with them, or don't be. That's the point, isn't it, I suppose? We're going to pop in some orange liqueur, Cointreau. 30 grams of that. And then some sugar. I've got 75 grams of sugar. Straight in. And again, for those of you that don't have a Thermomix, the Thermomix has scales built in. So it makes preparation of anything very, very straightforward because you don't have to weigh everything out in advance. You don't have to have lots of bowls of ingredients set out for weighing, saving up your washing up, which is always a favourable thing. And lastly, going in is 1.5 limes. I've peeled them and I've taken all of the white pith off, just taken out the ends. It's just 1.5 of those. And then we're going to go to my blade symbol, and the machine is going to tell me that I need to blend this for 30 seconds at speed 8. So I'm not going to speak over this because it often cuts out the sound on here. So just bear with me for 30 seconds.
So the function which Mez has been showing is an element of created recipes. I'm going to demonstrate how you get to that later on in the call, so do stick around. But one of the things I love about Thermomix cocktails is the fact that you can do 6 or 8 or 10 all at once. So, you know, rather than having to wait for multiple batches of a cocktail mixer, you can just do loads of margaritas all at once, or loads of daiquiris, or loads of pina coladas, you know, all in one sitting. And the flavor on them is amazing. If you've ever watched Below Deck, you'll see the Thermomix on Below Deck, and they often use it there for their drinks as well. So yeah, Thermomix cocktails are just incredible.
Now that smells amazing. It's such a fresh, summery take on a margarita with the cucumber. It's so good. What my recipe now wants me to do is add in 150 grams of ice cubes and then blend it for another minute. What I'm going to do before I do that is, because you won't be able to hear me, I'm going to just show you how to put the salt on the edge of your glass. For this recipe, I actually put salt and sugar mixture. That's how I prefer it. We're going to take a cocktail glass, and then I've saved some pieces of the lime peel. Now you can see that, I don't know if you can see, they've just got a bit of the sort of wet flesh on the inside there, and I'm just going to pinch it around the side of the glass and just turn the glass in my hand to prepare it. And then I've got sugar and salt mixture on a plate. It's just the right size for my glass. I'm just tip my glass upside down. I'm going to move it around, and you'll get this lovely edge to your glass that every time you take a mouthful from the drink, you get that sort of salty, sweet goodness within the drink. On Cookidoo, cucumber margarita is amazing. There are lots and lots of variations of the margarita on there as well, so do have a little search on there and see what you can find. I think probably what I'll do is I'll blend my drink while somebody else takes on the next segment, and then I'll come back and you can see it once it's blended.
Yeah, perfect. So all you're going to do is weigh in your ice, and then
yeah, literally it's ice, and then it's 1 minute at speed 10, which is the fastest speed, so you definitely won't hear me for a minute, and it comes out like a slushy, like a frozen, you get the frozen daiquiris, frozen margaritas, and it's just the most refreshing, lovely drink on a summer's evening or a summer's lunchtime.
Amazing. Thank you, Mez. We're going to zoom across to Ankita.
Hello, how are you doing? So my name is Ankita, and I've been a Thermomix advisor for 15 years. So I'm one of the long-standing advisors and team leaders. And just like everyone else's story, I first bought my Thermomix actually when I was on maternity leave. So I bought it when my daughter was 4 months old. I was looking at weaning, which is completely opposite to cocktails today. And I was just recommending it so much to my friends and family that at the time when we were much smaller a company, they called me up and said, "You're already promoting it. Would you like to join us?" And I thought I was bored on maternity leave and I'd do something with my spare time. And 15 years later, I am still here. So today, I am going to be showing you the Cookidoo function of menu planning and also the shopping list. So if you bear with me, I will share my screen and you can have a look. Oh, no, it didn't work.
Are you on the iPad?
I am.
I think you just need to choose the screen to go to.
I know. I had it open and then let me just.
So Sam in the comments has said she's done the spicy margarita and the regular, and you love them. Amazing. One of my customers basically like cuts chilies in half and then pops them into a jar of sugar and just lets it steep for ages. Is that what you do, Sam?
No, I haven't done that. That sounds.
Yeah, so he basically infuses chili through the salt, the sugar, and then basically like a week later, then uses it in the margaritas.
Lovely. I want to try the cucumber one that Mez has done. Is it? Well, I don't know if she's still whizzing or if she can hear.
I'm here. I'm back.
Does it change the texture a lot, Mez?
Does it what? Sorry.
Does the cucumber make it like change the texture so it's quite thick, or do you not really notice?
Because it's a frozen version of the drink, it's a little bit thick anyway, so you don't really notice it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's, like I say, super refreshing with that mixture of cucumber and lime. It's really good.
Delish. Can't wait.
Neither can I.
Did you manage to see my screen?
Yeah, we did. Sorry, we saw your Cookidoo.
Okay, fine. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, perfect. So let's get it back. And there's my Cookidoo. Okay, so if I go to...
We can't see it right now. Hold on.
Oh, you can't see it right now? Oh, gosh.
No worries.
Screen.
Daphne's also given a green light to the cucumber margarita. I'm just not sure. I'm not really like a Bloody Mary cucumber. Like, I don't know about.
Oh, I love Bloody Marys.
There you go. We can see you, Ankita.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is my screen. And you know, again, I love what Mez actually said with the latest recipes and also the recommendations, because I cook a lot of Asian food, and my suggestions are always very, very specific to me, and I think it's very, very clever how they do it. So if I go down to my week and press that, you will have a look at some of the recipes that I have added to my planner. So today I have had the chicken katsu curry with rice. We're going to make an espresso martini, which I'm going to enjoy by myself. Tomorrow, the sloppy joes with coleslaw, which is absolutely delicious if you haven't tried it. And then my kids come home from boarding school, so we start to have sort of some special breakfast. So I'm going to be making eggs Benedict. So there's the hollandaise sauce, soba, noodles with salmon bowls, a steak with roast potatoes and garlic on Sunday, and then Monday morning, the Dutch baby pancakes. Now, what's really interesting is these are in my planners right now, but if I click a list, I want to be able to then add those recipes to a shopping list. And so I will just go through that and add the main ingredients. So again, click add to shopping list, and add again to shopping list. So let me just do the first couple of days. And what you will see then when I go to the shopping list on the bottom is it has created the recipes by category. So vegetables and fresh herbs, oils and fats, fish and seafood, preserved products, and so on. So you can see how that is going along. Now, what the wonderful thing about this is you can actually edit it as well. So for example, if I already know that I have an avocado, I untick it and it disappears. I have lots of onions in my house, so I can take those out and
so just
kind
to
of
explain,
add.
because it's not 100% clear. Basically, can you see the little grey boxes on the right? On your app and on the screen, that's what Ankita's tapping at the moment. It's just the taps
Yes,
on
I'm
screen.
just untapping them there to add them. So you can also add recipes or ingredients if you want to. But the wonderful part then is that you can look at by category or by your individual recipes. So this is a wonderful way to check what you have or what you need. And then what we can do, there's 3 little buttons at the top right-hand side. I press that and we can order ingredients. Now I have to say, this is then going into whisk integration. I have a regular Ocado delivery, which comes to me every Thursday morning. But one of the things, you know, in recent times, we are so much more sensitive to the cost of ingredients. And one of the things I love about this is actually comparing the cost of your supermarket shop. So if we go tick Tesco, you will see that everything in that basket, if I do add everything, comes to £82.35. And, you know, that's obviously meaning that we're also getting the ingredients, you know, and sometimes slightly more if you need cornichons, then you have to buy a jar or things like that. But if I go back to my Cookidoo, and I'm just going to go show you again to order ingredients, that was £82.85. And now I go to Sainsbury's, it's £88.22. So very, very similar priced. And then one more time, let's see, order ingredients and pick Ocado. Damn that, £108.60. So this really does show you the price comparison of what you're buying for like. We used to do a cooking class where I remember the cost of the cooking class ingredients if you went to Sainsbury's was about £80. But if you actually went to Lidl or Aldi, it was about 40. So really being able to shop around for the ingredients is very, very important. And I do think it's something that we should be all aware of, because obviously we're investing in the Thermomix, but if we can actually start cost savings in what we're making, it's really, really important. So that is Cookidoo and menu planning. And I hope you are back to me. So I'm going to start making my espresso martini. And another thing that I have done today, which Bea is going to explain a little bit later, is that the menu actually required, it was for a serving of 4. So because there's just me and my husband who's just walked in, I'm actually I've scaled it down to 2 people. My Thermomix turned off while I was doing that, but let's just turn it back on and we can continue. But do we have any questions?
I can't see any in the chat. I was just going to add as well, when you're on the shopping list, you can edit those ingredients. So if you prefer a different one, you can just tap swap and you could change the ingredients as well. So what I noticed with Tesco's is it often matches with organic stuff. And for some reason in Tesco's always, it matches with the slightly more pricey items in Tesco's. So if you're a Tesco shopper, do have a little look through and you can switch it out. Karen says that she makes espresso martini all the time and they love it. So Karen,
Yeah.
have you got one on the go this evening, I wonder? Are you sipping along with Ankita this evening?
I hope so. So let's start my recipe. And I'm going to tell you one of the things that I'm doing straight away, which is slightly different, just because I have a lot of cocktail usage or drinkage in the summertime. It's actually asking for 15 grams of granulated sugar and 15 grams of water. I make my own sugar syrup and keep it in the fridge. So I always have cocktail syrup when I need it. So instead of adding the 15 grams of water and the sugar, I'm going to actually add 15 grams of my sugar syrup. Do label it, because I think once my son actually thought it was water and went, that's a bit sweet. But oh well. Then it's 65 grams of espresso brewed. So I'm just going to pour that in. And we're going to mix. So insert the bowl, press next, 15 seconds.
And sugar syrup's really quite expensive to buy. It was about £7 for a bottle in Waitrose.
Really?
Yeah. It's just sugar and water.
I mean, that's just crazy. Crazy. So it's now asking for 100 grams of ice cubes.
So on Cookidoo, there's also now a recipe for grenadine as well, which again is so expensive. And where I live, which is in the middle of nowhere in Devon, we don't have shops like Waitrose that sell helpful things, helpful ingredients. So the more things I can make through Cookidoo from other basics, the better, really. Obviously you can buy stuff off Amazon, but I like the fact that you can make it from scratch.
And you know what? And I was in Goa last week with my parents. I made grenadine from scratch because I actually juiced pomegranate as well. So that was quite good. So that was 80 grams of vodka that I just put in, and then 20 grams of Kahlua, which is a nice swig. Press next.
Peter, someone's just asked, the coffee that you put in, was that already cooled down?
Yes, it was. But you know what, to be honest, even if you make it slightly warm, because of the amount of ice, it's fine. So it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to crush 6 seconds for speed 8. And then what it's asking.
Daphne's saying she's not a fan of the espresso martini in the Thermomix because it melts the ice. So try cooling your coffee, Daphne, I would say. Is bad.
So I'm going to use this simmering basket to strain and pour. Beautiful. Espresso martinis. And today I'm actually having them with canapes, which are in the oven. So
yum.
That is it.
That's amazing. Yum, yum, yum.
Cheers.
Bea, do you want to come back to me and I can pour my cocktail out and show you, and then my waiting husband can drink it. He's looking at me.
There you go.
So my sugar and salt rim glasses are ready, and just with like Ankita, just pouring it out nicely into the glass, and it's got that lovely crushed ice kind of texture to it. And then what the recipe recommends doing is cutting some little cucumber sticks to garnish it. So you can just slide a cucumber stick in if you want to garnish it, or don't. You don't really need to. Anyway, cheers everybody.
Cheers and enjoy. don't forget to take a photo before you.
I won't let him drink it yet. He knows everything has to be pictured.
Oh, I've just hidden myself. What have I done? Oh no. How do I put myself? If one of you is a host, can you put me back on? Oh, I've never done that before. Oh, thank you. Couldn't see myself. Good evening, ladies and gents. So this evening, I'm going to be showing you a South African favorite, which we serve in restaurants as a dessert. It's called a Don Pedro, and you can have it with whiskey, Kahlua, or a South African spirit called Frangelica, which is like a slightly more like fruity flavored Kahlua, like fruity flavored liqueur rather than Kahlua. Tonight, I'm going to be doing it with Kahlua because it's my favorite. And the way my dad measures if it's a good one is if the straw still stands upright, then it's too weak, because it's got ice cream. It's essentially like a Kahlua milkshake. But first, let's show you how we get to it on Cookidoo. So let me share my screen with you. And I've just been popping the links into Cookidoo so that you can have a look at them if you don't want to find them on your own account. But looking at our Cookidoo account, we start from the home page, and you can search all sorts. So just to show you, because I don't know, I can't remember if I showed you this, you can just type in cocktails, and in English, 110 results come up. Or instead of recipes, you can tap here and you can change it to collections, and you can have a look through some of these collections. Some of them are not in English, but there's ones here without alcohol as well, some holiday ones, and all sorts of different inspiration. So yeah, definitely kind of have a look through, get some ideas on there. But let's go back to our, what was I looking for? Don Pedro. Don Pedro. Literally my favorite. I think I've been sipping this since I was far too young. So it was pudding, right? Then you put alcohol in pudding. Right, Don Pedro. So tap on the recipe. You will notice here that it is 6 portions. I don't need 6 portions, but that is a really good size if you're doing a dinner party, and you can see the glasses are quite large. We typically serve them in a wine glass. So that's kind of important as well. I'm just trying to find out, I can't see myself, which is slightly disconcerting because I need to be able to check that you can see my Thermomix. I don't know how to change that back, but I will figure it out. Right, if we go here to to serving size down the right, some of the recipes, if you tap that, there is the option automatically to scale it to 2, to 4, to 6. So some of the newer recipes will do that for you. This is an older recipe before the scaling function came in. And so to make it your own, to scale it down, you have to tap here, this green button, make it your own. It comes up with a little warning to say your recipe is your responsibility. In other words, if you mess around with it too much and you mess up your Thermomix, it's not Thermomix's responsibility anymore. And the cross is to say that it hasn't been tested by a chef. But, you know, with a cocktail, we can be the chefs. We can multiple test it, right? And enjoy it. So we start, and it imports our recipe into a new section of Cookidoo called Created Recipes. And at the top now, there is the option to automatically scale it. So if I go for, it's at 6, if I tap 3, it will half everything down. So you can see the numbers have gone to red, and that's halved the whole recipe. But I want to reduce it down even further. So I'm going to go to 4 because it's easier in my head. And then I'm going to divide all those numbers by 2. So I'm going to save it at 4. And then I'm going to make it down into 2. So when you're editing a created recipe, when you're editing any recipe from Cookidoo, always start by editing the ingredients first before you edit the steps. This is because when you do the steps, you link back to the ingredients. And if you haven't adjusted the ingredients first, your preparation steps won't make sense. So go to ingredients, you tap the little pencil icon. And on here, I'm literally just going to tap on each item, and half of that, I'm just going to do 25. So I'll round numbers up. So 25 grams of dark chocolate, 265 grams of vanilla ice cream, Kahlua, oh, I'm reluctant to halve it, but I will, 40 grams of Kahlua, And then on the cream, again, I'm just going to do 65 grams of pouring cream. Forgive me if my mental maths has not been accurate there. I am very tired and slightly poorly. So they'll work, they'll be fine. The other thing to say with this cocktail is if you don't have pouring cream, in South Africa, we often just use milk as well. Just reduce down the milk slightly because it will obviously make your drink more watery if you use water instead of milk instead of cream. Right, I've ticked my ingredients, they're adjusted. Next, we go to our preparation steps. And if you need to adjust something, so for example, here, the chocolate, you can see that it has linked to what was there already. So I'm just going to do the dustbin sign here to delete that ingredient from the step. And then I like to delete the word out because I'm a bit OCD and I like it all to look really neat. And you tap the ingredients here. And at the top of my list, I tap the little green next to the 25 grams of dark chocolate. And now it puts that ingredient back into the step. I'm not changing the mixing speeds because for this recipe, they're staying all the same. I now go down to the next step. And again, for the ice cream, I delete the ice cream, delete that word out, tap the scales, and I'm just going to add all the others in. So we need the ice cream. We need the Kahlua and the cream. So delete all of that. Kahlua and the cream. Again, we're leaving out speed setting there, and the chocolate, you can adjust it if you want to, and just link it again to the first step, but you won't need to weigh it out because it's already been weighed and chopped. So tick, once you've finished editing something, always remember, tick the green tick, otherwise it won't save it. And if you want to confirm that, you tick confirm. If you want to change anything, so before you aim to share your Cookidoo created recipes with anybody, you must change the image. Those images are copyrighted for some reason. So basically, once you've made your own version of a recipe on Cookidoo or your own version of a recipe from anywhere, take your own photo of it, tap the little camera icon, especially if it's on your phone, and just upload it straight into the app. You can change here. So I'm going to do Don Pedro for 2, so I know which recipe this is. And again, down here, I can change the serving size. So this is 2 portions. I can change the total time. It's 5 minutes still. The prep time is still 5 minutes. It's suitable for the TM5 and the TM6. And I confirm it. And all those details have saved. And I click done. Now, my Don Pedro is there forever for me to use with guided cooking in my created recipes. You can add created recipes to your meal planner. So tap on the 3 dots the same way you do on the main Cookidoo recipes, and you can tap here, add to my week. So I can add it to today and save, or you can tap the 3 dots, add it to my week and plan it in for next Wednesday or something like that. Half term, I might need one by then. And then you can also tap here and you can add it to your shopping list. So, if you've got your favorite family recipes and you make them regularly, using the Thermomix, but they're not on Cookidoo, it's worth doing this just because then anybody can make it in the family by following the steps on screen. You can share the steps. If you've got other members of your family with a Thermomix, you can share those steps with others now, and you can also add it to your shopping list. So this is a new feature. It came out in the last month, and it's just simplifying life. It's making things easier for us. So it's in my created recipes. If I go to my week, I have also added, that's the original. If I scroll down, there is now my Don Pedro for 2. So I'm going to stop sharing on my screen, and I'm going to hope that I can find okay, I can see myself. Right. So here we are on the Thermomix. Please forgive me if you hear the odd sniff. I'm fighting off a cold from burning the candle at both ends for too long. So if I bring my laptop down here, you can see on screen my home screen. Remember, you can program all of these independently: time, temperature, speed. You can use it as you normally would a food processor. But if you tap the 3 dots up here, sorry, 3 dots up there. You can go to My Recipes, and there is Created Recipes, and that's where you can find your recipe if it's not in your planner. And the other places, you go 3 dots here, go to the second option down, which is My Week, and if you've added it to your weekly planner, it will show up in your list of planned recipes on here as well. So there's different ways to access it on your Thermomix. When you pull it up, as Ankita, as Mez said earlier, it looks slightly different on your screen, and it comes up with a warning basically to say, you've created this recipe. It has your photo if you've got your photo on Cookidoo as well, which I quite like. So it says, enjoy cooking this recipe. This recipe is not an official Vorwerk recipe. Okay, that's fine. And then it comes up with the steps on the screen. If I try and get closer so you can see that. Certain bits are underlined and bold. So for example, here, the chocolate and stuff is underlined and bold. And then these 2 icons have turned green. When you go on to created recipes, if these icons are green, that means that they have a step linked to them. So if I go to the scales, it's listed the chocolate as the only item I need to weigh in this step. And it's obviously pulled up my scales automatically. So open my lid. New bowl, so it's very sparkling. Okay, 25 grams of chocolate. Bit of extra for good measure. Close that bit down, and then 5 seconds, speed 7. We're just grating that chocolate. So press the blade icon, it pulls the settings up, and you just turn the dial to 7. So that is our grated chocolate. It's quite a rough grate because it just sits on top of the milkshake, so it's really nice. If you want it finer, you just grate it for longer. But don't worry about leaving the remnants of that chocolate in the bowl. It's just all going to get blended into your cocktail. So we've done everything that it says on there. Press next. Next, we're going to weigh in our ice cream. Grab it from the freezer. Oh, where is my husband put it?
Why have I not had Don Pedro before? This looks delicious.
I was just thinking the same. It's like everyone else knows about it except us.
Oh, Sam, I'm going to have to. Well, I think I have all the ingredients, though.
You've never done a Don Pedro before?
No, I've not done one. I've never drank one.
Okay, so I'm doing it vegan. Well, yeah, because I'm lactose intolerant. And there's another thing, I can't drink this anymore now when I go out because they don't make it in for me. But with Thermomix, I can have it at home and still enjoy it. So scales up, and it's about a couple of scoops of ice cream. So yum. As I said, it's a dessert out in South Africa in the summer, because once you've had like a big meaty barbecue main, you're quite full by then. So rather than just having a simple, ice cream sundae, my husband laughs. He says, as South Africans, we add booze to all our puddings. We add booze to it and we put it in a blender. So this is how we enjoy our desserts in South Africa. Yum. Right, ice cream done. And then I'm using our Kahlua. It says 40 grams or to taste. So when you've got a list of ingredients down here with created recipes, you just press the tear button, it zeroes your scales, and then you can weigh the next ingredient in. I'm going to go a bit generous on this because I need the sleep. There you go. Oh, and Kahlua, if you've not had it before, this is like a coffee flavored liqueur. So you can also use Tia Maria if you prefer, if you can only get hold of that. Right, then our pouring cream, so tear that, and we go. I'm using, again, just Oatly Whippable as a replacement. I mean, it's not the healthiest. I I loathe vegan stuff because it's so processed, but with a 3-month-old in the house, I'm not going to be starting to make stuff from scratch like that right now. So some cream goes in. And then because you're adding the chocolate later, on the screen here, it's actually got an underline. So it's telling you only weigh up to those ingredients and then pause. That's what that line there means. So close that down. And now we press the blade, 20 seconds, put the lid on. Oh, 20 seconds till heaven. Speed 4, chat amongst yourselves.
I've got cocktail envy. I want what everyone else has made and I don't want mine.
It'll be good, Sam. It'll be good.
Well, do you know what? I'm a trier, so I'll plow on regardless. Okay.
I mean, you could go for one of each, Sam, or go for one each day over the weekend. It's a bank holiday.
It is. It is.
So next up, divide it evenly between our glasses. So it's like a thick shake. And that is what you want for your Kahlua Don Pedro. It is incredible. The smell is just amazing. I'm actually going to probably have both portions to myself. Don't judge me, people. I know there's people on here judging me right now.
I'm not judging
I'm
you.
having it all to myself.
That looks amazing.
And then you pop your chocolate over the top. And we say bon appetit. That is a Kahlua Don Pedro. And you need to use a straw with it. So I will be chopping one down. But you take a straw to it. And this is how we serve it in the restaurants, from the posh restaurants right down to like the equivalent of TGI Fridays. They'll serve a Don Pedro on their menu. So yeah, there you go. That's a South African cocktail and created recipes for you guys. I'm going to hand over now to Sam, who is going to do our last recipe for the evening.
Thanks, Bea. Oh, that looks so good. So last recipe of the evening, I'm going to be doing an Amaretto Sour. So I don't know if any of you have tried this before, but it is a great recipe. It's a little bit, I guess, a bit Christmassy, but maybe that's just my association. I always use the Di Serrano. It is the best Amaretto, in my opinion. So here we go. So always read your recipe through from the beginning because you may actually be able to save yourself some washing up or skip a few steps or simplify it a little bit. So that's what I've done here. So I thought this was a good one because it sort of showed some extra steps. So we're going to start. Now, this recipe actually uses 2 bowls, but I'm going to circumnavigate that and I'm actually just going to put a jug on top instead because the first part of the recipe is just stirring some things together. So this is an Amaretto Sour, Daphne. So we're going to start off with 85 grams. So yeah, this serves 2. So yeah, they are quite generous on the old boozy. We're going to add some bourbon to that. I think I'm getting judged now. 30 grams.
Never, Sam. You're not drinking alone. We're with you.
Definitely no judgment.
I just slipped a bit there. I'm glad you can't actually see my screen very well. Lemon juice, 60 grams. So I'm always plugging these. I don't work for them. I just love them. The best lemon squeezers. They're metal and you just get loads of your juice out. I think we talked about them on the last class. You must think I'm obsessed. So we've got 60.
I have one too. But I have the one with the lime squeezer as well.
Oh yes, there's always one that's got the best version.
It's just newer. That's it. I bought it late.
So I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of agave syrup. You can use maple syrup instead. from here. Agave is often kind of you see it in kind of like quite healthy sweet dessert because it's got quite a low GI. So you can, but actually it's just not very sweet at all. So you end up having to use quite a lot and it can be quite expensive, but perfect for this recipe. We're gonna add 6 dashes of Angostura bitters. Angostura. I love the smell of this stuff. It's kind of reminds me of working in the hospital, but like in a good way. 6 dashes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's saying we would whiz that together. Now it says to whiz it for like 2 minutes, speed 7. I really don't think you have to, because that is nicely combined, smells divine. However, what we're going to do now is we're going to add some egg whites. Now, not everybody likes, you know, the frothy bit on top. You can replace this with aquafaba as well, the chickpea water, to make it a vegan cocktail. And pop our butterfly whisk onto the blades. The best way is always popping it behind the high blade. A little twist to the right. Always make sure that you've done a good clean on your bowl if you're whisking egg whites. So a vinegar wash or you know, vinegar or lemon juice and bicarb. I haven't, so I'm just going to risk it tonight. And I'm going to put 2 egg whites. So I've separated my eggs. And it's saying to use pasteurized eggs. So we don't need a lid on for this. 2 minutes, speed 3.5. And remember, speed 4 is your maximum with your whiz. Now, you can eat egg whites in this country, so long as you're not, you don't have any immunocompromise. So you're not pregnant, you're not elderly, or have a compromised immune system otherwise. So there is a tip on the recipe which will talk you through pasteurizing your own eggs, which is really cool as well. So another good point about reading through your recipe properly. So the tips are always right at the bottom on that landing page of recipes. So we're just going to whisk that until it's glossy and stiff peaks form. These are not great. These are good probably for whipping because they are older egg whites, so they're going to whip a lot more quickly. Has changed the sound. So it might not need all of this time, so you can just have a peek in and see. The preview button, don't forget you can have a look on there if you want to see what's coming next. It will kind of change your screen to another colour. You can see this sort of green, what do you call it? Like a filter, looks like, over the top. And it's telling me that I'm just going to add my amaretto mix and then next. So you can go back. And that's whipped already just in a minute and a half. So anybody that says they can't do egg whites in the Thermomix, well, there you go. I could even put it over my head, but I won't. You know. Right, so you believe me, don't you? So we're going to take out, I don't know, you leave the whisk in, or in. Remember, you can always go back. You need to. It's not telling me to scrape down the bowl, so. But I don't know. Do I? Do I not? I don't know. Just do what you.
No, I never bothered. I've done it before. I didn't bother.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's doing a great job all of its own. So I have some posh cherries. You won't see me with one of those glacier cherries. These are like the maraschino ones, really, but these are from Lidl. And if you see these, you know, they have like different countries doing different things. grab some of these if you see them, because they're fantastic and they're really good value. I can't remember what they were, but if you're doing a Black Forest Gatto, they're brilliant and they'll just last forever.
Maraschino.
Yes.
Is that what they're called? Maraschino cherries?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And the syrup's really great as well. So you can actually use the syrup to kind of like drizzle on stuff as well. Take the whisk out. Oh, we're going to add some ice. Ice has got a bit melted. I'm just going to drain that. A little bit more in. Now we can mix again, or we can just give it a shake. So I have got, now when I last made margaritas, which was the other weekend, I had a really busy day, had a friend coming for dinner, finally sat down in the garden with everybody with our margaritas, and the first sip I took, I threw the whole thing all over myself.
It's never with a glass of water, is it, Sam?
No, Mess, it isn't. And I was covered in all bits of lime for the rest of the night. But yeah, what a waste. So you can see that the egg white will slowly, you'll sort of see, sort of will leave a layer on the top there. But you garnish with a slice of lemon and one of your posh cherries. And they're really sticky and amazing. So you could put them on a cocktail stick if you wanted to, and I think I'll have to, otherwise it will sink down to the bottom. But a nice touch is if you just get some of that syrup and you just do a bit of a swirl on top, because that foam will hold it. If you can really see that very well, but
beautiful.
That's it.
You get the idea anyway. So that is my Amaretto Sour. There's also a whiskey sour on there. And I guess you could really use anything. I've got a random bottle of toffee vodka as well in my cupboard that I bought ages ago at a food fair and not opened. I was going to use that. So have a play around and maybe, you know, taste as you go as well, and make sure it's not too sweet and it is to your taste really. So cheers.
Cheers. Amazing. Sam, did you want to show importing a recipe into Cookidoo quickly?
I can quickly show that.
Yes. Or do you want me to do it? I don't mind. It's up to you.
Berry juice all over.
Do you want me to do it? Is it easier? I don't mind.
Yes, it might be, Bea. Is that all right?
No, that's fine. I will show it quickly because we won't edit it too much because I've shown editing it. Right, go to Cookidoo. There you go. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Right, ladies and gents, as if Cookidoo wasn't enough inspiration for you, you must also find a website called Recipe Community. Oh, if I could open my screen. I've got the annoying Zoom tab at the top. How do I move it? There you go. Right, if I go to recipecommunity.com.au, this is a fanatical group of people like ourselves from around the world who add their own recipes onto a public portal, and then anybody can look for them and find them. So on here you can search for things. I'm just using it as an example, but basically you can find a recipe like that. I'm going to type in cocktail. You search it like you do Cookidoo. You can create an account if you want and use it like Cookidoo, but you don't have to. You can just use it as a free portal like this. Scroll down and actually somebody was saying mojito, so I'll just find their mojito because why not? I think it was Donna was asking for the mojito. So you can go down. They've got a frozen mojito. They've got mojito, watermelon mojito. Oh, we're coming up to summer. That sounds quite nice. I haven't tried any of these, but let's pick. I love passion fruit. So we're going to go to view recipe for the passion fruit mojito. And if you're on your phone, now this doesn't work on the laptop, but if you are on your phone and you've got Cookidoo as an app open on your phone, and you open Recipe Community in your whatever browser, Safari, Google, whatever you have, the button here that says add to Cookidoo, you tap on it and it will take you straight into your Cookidoo account. Now it doesn't work on the laptop. It tries to get me to log in and then it doesn't work. So the way around on the laptop is to go back to the recipe, just go onto your URL to the long web address bar, highlight it, copy it, and then go to Cookidoo, and you're going to go to My Recipes, Created Recipes, and in the bottom right hand side there's a green plus button. Tap on that, import recipe using a link, paste that link, and import. And it's going to move that recipe across from Recipe Community into your Cookidoo account. And you can do this from other Thermomix blogs on the internet as well. I would just say, like, obviously things like skinny mixers, they're very hot on their copywriting, so don't be sharing recipes unless you own the copyright on them, or unless you've adjusted them significantly to be unique to you. But here it's added this to my Cookidoo account, and I can literally go through, I can change the image. It's connected up the ingredients already on the left and the steps on the right. I just save it, and now that is there in my created recipes. So it's simple as that, to add recipes from over, outside of Cookidoo into Cookidoo as well. So yes, I hope that has inspired you all and given you some ideas of how you can be using Cookidoo and Thermomix in a fun way this bank holiday weekend and for the summer ahead. Just to give you a heads up, we've all been at something called the Grand Ball this week, which has been very exciting. It's launched our summer campaign and our summer offer for the next 6 weeks or 5 weeks. And so I'm going to give you a sneak preview. For the next 5 weeks, if you know somebody who's
Bea, you just might want to put yourself back on it because Sam is the spotlight.
I can't. I don't know how to.
I'm just trying to.
I can't see myself to put myself.
Okay, you're back on. That's fine. We got you.
Thank you. Mez can highlight me. So this summer, if you know someone who is looking to get a Thermomix, we have a very special promotion. Either they can buy a standalone Thermomix for $1,279. They can get a free mixing bowl and up to 3 years 0% finance. But they can choose for 5 weeks only, for 2 weeks only, between the white or the black or the white TM6. So the TM6 Noir, not the sparkling one, the Noir, or the white Thermomix. So for the next 2 weeks until the 10th of June, they can choose between the two. They get a free bowl and they can get up to 3 years 0% finance. Or if you know 2 people who want a Thermomix, or maybe somebody's buying and their child's going off to uni, or they've got a second home, or a chef or something like that. You might know a cafe. They want one at a cafe, one at home. For the first time ever on the TM6, we're offering buy the white TM6 full price, and you get the black for half price. So that makes both Thermomixes £300 reduced, so £960 each to get 2 Thermomixes in that bundle. So yeah, if you know anybody who's wanting multiple, or maybe you've got a buddy who's thinking about it and they want the black and you want the white, or you want the black and they want the white, whatever, those are the promotions for the next few weeks ahead. Chat to whoever your advisor is, ask them for all the details. It will officially go on sale on Tuesday, and we expect to hear other information as well. So yeah, do get in touch and we will help you out. But thank you so much for joining us this evening. We hope that you found these classes helpful. Give us ideas of more things that you want to learn and more things that you want to see demonstrated. We're always here to help. And thanks again for your support. Honestly, we love this. We love sharing our passion with you, but we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you supporting us. So thank you so much. And yeah, have a wonderful, not too tipsy bank holiday weekend. Cheers.
Thanks everyone for joining. It's such an amazing offer, and please come back to us if you have anybody interested in that or want to know a little bit more. But yeah, we've been waiting for 0% over longer terms for ages, and it's here. So £35 a month, it's a no-brainer really when you look at those savings, especially toggling between your supermarkets and shopping around a bit. It does really pay for itself. Thanks everybody. I hope you've all enjoyed it. It's been great to see you.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Lovely to see you. What was
Lovely
the
to see you.
term? Charlotte's just asked what's the 0% term. You can choose 12, 24 or 36 months on 0%, Charlotte.
All right.
Start there. Thank you, everybody.